Hey guys, what is up? My name is Megan and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe, and welcome to the final TBR of 2023. I'm glad you guys are here. Now, I was supposed to do a fun TBR game that is Christmas based, however, due to unforeseen circumstances, it will not be happening. We're going to play a regular round of Candyland Picks My TBR. I will get into what all these unforeseen circumstances were in a regular vlog, but just know things are looking up from here. I will have time to read again. That being said, I have not really read, and so instead of our regular 5 spins, we are going to add an extra spin to the game as per the rules. If you are new here, I will link the Candyland playlist in the description and in the cards for you, but it's not complicated. Essentially, here is a color chart of what each color on the roller represents. I spin at least 5 times to find prompts corresponding to the colors. If I land on the same color 3 times, when I spin, I add an extra spin, and if I don't complete my TBR, I also add a spin. Now that all of that is out of the way, let's move on to spin number 1. Number 1 was a double yellow. Yellow is the Formula 1 prompts. This is the last month I'm going to be using this jar. So I picked from that jar, obviously, as you saw, and the prompt I picked was read a book with a bunch of drama. For that, I will be reading Murder at the Holly House by Denzel Mayrick. This is the Waterstones exclusive with the really cool sprayed edges. This is a mystery book, so obviously it's going to be full of drama. From what I understand, we are located in a village in 1952. It is December, and a dead stranger has been found in a chimney at the Holly House. We don't know if that person was a thief or something else, but then our main character, Inspector Frank Gatsby, is ordered to investigate. I think he's been having a rough time, and it's kind of like the accumulation of this, and I believe there's also a blizzard, and so people cannot leave Holly House, and it's kind of like a closed mystery, like very close proximity. That was a terrible recap, but I'm very excited. This sounds kind of like Agatha Christie, but make it a little bit different. So yes, I hope this is full of drama. I really hope I like this. And it feels very festive because, like, it's December, so it's perfect for the Christmas time. Let's move on to spin number 2. Spin number 2 brought us to a candy, and candy, all the food is free pick, and so for this one I decided to go with a book I need to read, which is Snow Girl by Sophie Anderson. This is the book club pick for my book club for the month of December. I will leave all the information regarding my book club in the description and the cards as well, but this is what won the poll pick for December, and I must say I had not realized how beautiful this book is and like how fun to read it's going to be. This is the newest Sophie Anderson book, who, like, Sophie Anderson is known for so many books like The House of Chicken Legs, which I have not read yet, and this follows a main character who wishes the Snow Girl would come to life, and I think the Snow Girl does, and so it's kind of like their adventure together. I don't know what the Snow Girl entails, but it's gonna be full of magic, full of Christmassy vibes. I am incredibly excited for this, as were all of you who voted in the poll, because this won by a significant amount. So yeah, happy I got this on there. The date for the live show was still pending. All the information will be in the description of the book announcements once the date has been picked, but it will be in January. Moving on to spin number 3. Spin number 3 brought us to purple purple is most read genre. For me, that applies to two different genres. That would be romance and middle grade. That's essentially what I read most of. This time I decided to go with a middle grade pick, and I will be reading Story Thieves. Wow, this is very reflective. I apologize. By James Riley. This is a book I had never heard anyone speak about until I found a really beat up copy at the thrift store. And when I read the synopses, I was like, this sounds incredibly interesting. And so I decided to not get a beat up copy, but this was like $11 on the internet, so a very big bargain if you're Canadian. Now, this book sounds intriguing to me because it sounds a lot like one of my favorite books, which is the Pages & Co. series by Anna James. We follow a young boy who is named Owen, and Owen finds regular life very mundane. The homework, the chores, he's not really into that stuff. And one day, he sees his friend Bethany in the library climbing into a book, and he learns that Bethany is actually half fictional, and she has been going into every book to find her missing father, and Owen will join her on that adventure. Now, this is very reminiscent of the first Pages & Co. book, and I'm very intrigued to see what the difference is. I know this is like a 5 or 6 book series, so hopefully it isn't the exact same plot line, because that would be very disappointing, but I'm curious to see how it will turn out, and hopefully I love it and have another middle grade series to read. Moving on to spin number 4. Number 4 brought us to a double red, which technically is indie. However, when we landed on the actual spot on the board, it ended up being the peanut. Peanut is food, and so it transfers into a free pick. For that, however, I will still be fulfilling the prompt of indie because I will be reading Return to Us by Corinne Michaels. This is a book that I spoke about back in January when I did a book tag, and one of the questions was like to identify some 5-star predictions, and this is the only one on that list that I have yet to read, and so I would like to round out the year by reading this book so that I can come back and let you guys know how it all ended up going, and so I can make some more 5-star predictions. This one follows a main character who was 18 years old when she walked away from a place called Willow Creek Valley. It is a small town. However, 14 years later, she comes back, and when she first left, she left her crush behind, and she comes back to see that he's a grown man with a daughter. And so this is a single dad romance in a small town where they will rekindle a relationship, and if that doesn't scream kind of books I love, I don't know what does. This hits a lot of my favorite tropes, and so that's why it was a 5-star prediction. It's not a super long book as well, but yeah, it's just over 300 pages, so I can definitely knock this out, and just the whole vibes feel very cozy. So yeah, hopefully I get to this one. Moving on to spin number 5. Brought us to pink again. We fell on the lollipop, and I swear Candyland has been so nice to me for the past 2 months. I don't know what's going on, but again, a free pick. I decided to go with a very festive read, and that is Junipers Christmas by the same author who wrote, what did this author write? He is known in the middle grade community, and I'm just blanking on what he's written before. I have not read it yet. I'm not sure if it's the Artemis Fowl or something like that, but this is this author's newest book, and it is a Christmas story, and I don't really know what it's about, but it's I'm just obsessed with anything middle grade, obviously, and then you make it Christmas like this. Like, look at this cover. Gorgeous. Again, I haven't heard anyone talk about it, but I, for one, am extremely excited for it, and I think it's gonna be a fun, festive read for when I'm off work. I get to curl up with a blanket, my little puppy, and a book. It's gonna be a great time. This was one of my suggested poll picks for the month of December for my book club. It didn't win, but I'm still gonna read it. Now moving on to spin number 6 and what will hopefully be our last. Number 6 brought us to double green, which means we need to pick out of the prompt jar. And when I did do that, we picked out favorite author. And for this, I was debating reading a Casey West book, but because, you know, she only comes out with one a year, I tried to keep them for a time of need. And so I decided to go with another favorite author, which I for some reason kind of forgot for a reason, and that is Ali Hazelwood with her newest book, Check and Mate, which is her newest YA / new adult story. I don't know if this is, I don't think it's dual perspective, but everybody has been raving about this on Bookstagram. I feel like everybody is obsessed. This is a chess romance and I'm obsessed. I am ready to be trash for these characters. I have been rewatching The Queen's Gambit, so clearly I'm in the mood for chess. So this, it checks off all the boxes. Yeah, I can't tell you what it's about, but I can tell you it's Ali Hazelwood, so it's gonna be 5 stars. And if it's not 5 stars, I don't know what to tell you guys. I really don't. So that is a TBR that I can definitely work with. Let me show you guys. This is what it looks like. It's not a bad day's work, honestly. Could have been worse. So yeah, that wow, it feels weird to like these books are the last books I should be technically reading for 2023. And then we're gonna start all over again with 2024. We're gonna have some adjustments made to the Candyland TBR game, some new prompts, some things like that. So yeah, if you have any suggestions of prompts you want to see in the jar, or what colors you want me to change, things you want to see in Candyland for 2024, comment them down below. You should also know I am working on hosting a Candyland readathon in the upcoming year, so it's all exciting stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great December TBR, and I'll chat with you guys soon in another video. Bye guys, happy reading.